want to recognize all of you for coming to Zanu PF HQ. As you are aware, we had an extraordinary session of the Politburo, and I'm sure most of you did manage to get a recording of the opening remarks from His Excellency the President and First Secretary of Zanu PF. So I won't go into some of the issues that he raised, but I will still probably make reference to some of those as we continue to discuss in our deliberations today. Just to mention as well that we are now in the campaign period, and Zanu PF will launch its campaign in Manicaland province, in Chipinge district, next week at a day to be announced. The President did applaud the activities of affiliates. We now have more than 90 affiliates which are affiliated to the party, who supports the thrust of economic development that is being championed by His Excellency the President. And there have been a number of activities in the last week. We had a huge meeting in Highfields at Zimbabwe grounds, which was hosted by Apostori and Mazioni for ED. We had a huge crowd, and the President did applaud that particular affiliate for organizing that meeting. We also had the Young Women for ED in partnership with other affiliates who organized the First Time Voters Conference, which was held in Masvingo last week. Again, the President applauded this activity. He also announced the appointment of Comrade Enoch Banda from Matebeleland to the Elders Council. Sometimes we call it Council of Elders. You can use that interchangeably, but he's a new member to the Elders Council. He's a veteran of the liberation struggle, and we want to thank His Excellency the President for recognizing him, so that he brings his wealth of experience and wisdom to the Elders Council. The President also thanked the people of Chipinge who came in their numbers to witness the befitting posthumous send-off of the founding late President of ZANU, Reverend Dabaningi Stole, and a number of Politburo members who witnessed the event also applauded the President for this unifying gesture, and which they think the President has done in so many ways to unify the people of Zimbabwe. The whole issue of encouraging debate on the Kukurahundi issue is an example that he has welcomed people to talk freely, to express their views with the intention to unite the people of Zimbabwe. And it was also felt that this was a very noble gesture and we should continue in that vein. The National Political Commissar also gave his report, which covered a number of areas. Covered the ideological and orientation and mobilization strategy workshop, which was held in Gweru last week. The healing and reconciliation processes taking place around the provinces, and also getting into full gear next week. The training and deployment of polling agents, and also the election of members of the provincial councils. Politburo also received a report on the finalization of rankings relating to senators as well as members of the women's quota. And these are now approved for onward processes. The Politburo endorsed the President's call for peaceful campaigns, and that all our structures should ensure that in all their meetings and engagement with the electorate, that we preach peace, love, and harmony. But he also warned members to be wary of our detractors who continue to use disinformation and misinformation to mislead our people. And therefore that the leadership, as well as our entire membership, should remain vigilant. He did touch on the issue of price increases and, of course, the exchange rate fluctuations, but stressed that there are powers behind this, but that the government and the party will eventually get on top of the situation, and that there are measures that have already been put together and additional measures that will also be put together to address these challenges. It's not a one-day wonder, but eventually we will win. And I think this is the message that we would like to put across to our members, to our electorate, that we should remain vigilant, that we are going to be on top of the situation, and that the government is doing the best it can to ensure that this trust of economic development continues unabated, that there's so much to talk about in terms of the successes of the Second Republic as we go down this campaign trail. At national level, at provincial level, and even at district and constituents level. The success stories are there for everyone to see. There is much to show on what government has done within a short period, and given the threat of sanctions. But apart from that, besides that, we still have, as I said earlier on, misinformation, disinformation. A case in point was a report that there are food shortages in Zimbabwe, which is contrary to what we are seeing, that Zimbabwe is food secure. And we do have surplus to carry us for the next 3 seasons. And I think it's important for our members, for the electorate, or as a nation as a whole, to ensure that we gear ourselves to the right information, that we are not led astray to this type of information. This summarizes some of the deliberations of today's meeting. And I want to thank you for coming and for being with us and being patient with us until this time. Thank you very much. You see, we have a lot of requests. You remember I said we do have now like over 90 affiliates. And each one of those are saying, can we have a meeting? Can we have a conference? Can we have a rally? Can we have... So that's what we are battling with, rather than think about the victory celebrations. It will come when it will come. But for now, we are more to do with satisfying most of our affiliates to make sure that we give them room. We particularly for them to engage with the president. If you recall, these affiliates, in most cases, they are affiliates supporting economic development, which is associated with the president. And obviously, they also want to have time where they can engage him, listen to him, hear from him, talk about policy issues, and for them to also to express whatever their aspirations. And therefore, we are trying to find out how we can fit in within this short period of campaigning. And it's not easy, but we'll try to accommodate the few that we can as we go along. Thank you.
And just on those affiliates, I think National Peace, it's important to clarify that we have seen the opposition working with its proxies in the civil society organizations. And there are a variety of them, the crisis coalitions in Zimbabwe, sometimes the labor movements, the ZESNIs of this world, the ERCs, isn't it? We have never raised a fee. What has become a challenge is that you call me asking me why or why FAS or heritage. But I've never heard you calling the opposition to ask them about their relationship with the NGOs that have chosen to support them. Why do you find the bravery to ask us about affiliate organizations that have chosen to ally with us, but you don't do the same with the opposition? I'm sure the PC may have 1 or 2 clarifications. It's an issue that I get bedeviled with calls every day. First this, first that, heritage this, heritage that. But they have theirs.
Yeah, but someone told me that Aneborande and Anumakwa.
Oh, yes.
So I can understand why.
Ah, that's good. Any further questions, therefore? There being no further questions, I'm sure there are not going to be any further questions about affiliate organizations, FAS, Heritage, Young Women for ED, and so forth. You name them, the list is 99 or over.
Oh, yes.
The PCA has given. Thank you very much, National Commissar, and my colleague Brown for breaking the ice. I'm sure you are growing well into... Okay, I'll say it for another day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our colleagues.
Tigare mumiti dzimba gumi pamunhu mwechete wanoda kuti tisu amwe. tigare mumiti. Dai pasina kupindira kwaishe, vechokwadi pasi